What are you doing? What is this? What is this?
I'm practicing.
Is that some karate?
No, it's Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Why are you doing that?
Because you got to strike first, and you got to strike hard. No mercy in this studio.
Strike first, strike hard. All right.
No mercy in the studio.
No mercy. When we have our, what are we doing when we're doing
dolly
our,
track?
No, when we're when we're having our, what's the sport? It's
Curling?
Can we add karate into the curling?
You mean Cobra Kai?
Oh, Cobra Kai.
That's how we should train Dave.
I'd like to see Dave do karate. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Okay. Coming to you pre-tape from the LA Mission College Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera. That's my producer, Curtis Stage. Curtis, is our season over?
Technically, it is not.
We're 36 games in. Is this season over?
Well, I'm going to say in my heart says no, but in my mind, mathematically, it says it's hard to get him. It's going to be hard to overcome that, but we're early. I mean, it's early.
Is it early?
Are you panicking?
We're 8 games out.
Well,
we're 4 games under 500, and we're 8 games out.
We kind of have a good idea of what this team is like.
And not like.
And not like right now. All right. So, hey, Dodgers fans, we're back. Best Coast Show again with Dodgers Nation. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking Dodgers, and we are, it's not exciting right now. This is a team that's tough to watch. So let's get started.
Dodger Nation, welcome back. I'm Albert Aguilera. That's Curtis Stage. We'd like to have you back. Unfortunately, everyone's getting hurt again. Hyun-Jin Ryu, who was just demolishing people, striking out people left and right.
He was our best pitcher.
Yeah.
On our last show, we talked about
decided to tear his groin for no reason. Who decides to tear their groin?
Wait, now let's talk about this.
I wouldn't do that on purpose.
Let's talk about this. What was the actual medical? Because it sounded scary. He tore it from the bone? I didn't even know there was a bone down there.
Yeah. So
what bone?
I don't know what bone, but
there's a bone down there.
I was looking at medical charts, and there's 4 possible ways of a groin strain. There's 3 muscles that come out of your thigh.
Yeah.
On either leg.
Yeah.
And then there's a muscle that comes out of your abdominal area.
Really?
Yeah. That connects. So these 4 muscles on each half of your body connect somewhere in there. So he strained one of those 4.
He strained it or tore it?
Tore it off the bone.
That's different than straining, dude.
Right.
Tearing is bad.
Tearing is bad. But the muscle was not torn. The muscle just came off the bone.
And how does it get back on the bone?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
How is this?
But they said it's not going to be. He's not going to be available until after the All-Star game now.
Great. I mean, he was look. It's like we got a MASH unit going on here. I just, I hear the theme from. Do you remember MASH?
No, I didn't see MASH. MASH probably had their series finale before I was born.
Yes, they definitely had it before you were born. But I mean, it's been on TV since that. Maybe not.
Are they going to bring it back?
I have no idea. But the Dodgers are bringing it back because they're a literal MASH unit right now. I mean,
what old show came back and is running its sequel right now on YouTube?
What is this?
Cobra Kai.
But what's that?
Cobra Kai. It's the sequel to the Karate Kid.
Oh, Karate Kid. I like that.
But the actual Karate Kid, not the other sequels.
No.
So
the original Karate Kid.
Right, so the original Karate Kid, which took place in the 80s.
Wait, is Ralph Macchio in this
Yeah.
He is.
Yes. So it's the original, 2 dudes.
Shut up.
Yes.
Wait, Pat Morita?
Who's Pat Morita?
I thought Pat Morita was dead.
Who's Pat Morita?
Pat Morita dead? He's dead.
Who's Pat Morita?
Remember a couple years ago when I didn't know that Swayze was dead?
Right.
I'm guessing. Pat Morita, wasn't he the guy?
What guy?
Pat Morita? He's the main dude.
Oh, Mr. Miyagi. I didn't know his real name. But yes, Mr. Miyagi has passed away in real life, and in the series has passed away. So, Macchiato's like, oh, hey, Mr. Miyagi, I could really use your help and blah, blah.
Yeah.
But without giving anything away, this series takes place in modern-day San Fernando Valley.
It does?
So the characters who were in high school in 80-something.
Are you producing this show?
I'm not. I'm not. But the show's really good, and you got to check it out. Now,
it's on YouTube.
Yes, and I can relate to this show because I live in the Valley.
Yes.
Grew up in the Valley.
Yes.
So I get all the references that they make to everything. And I had seen the Karate Kid movies, right?
Yes.
But they came out, again, before I was born. So I couldn't relate to them. Now, you were in high school during the Karate Kid movies. Sure. When was the first one out? 83 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Were you in high school in 83?
I was in junior high, I think, when it first came out. Or maybe I was in 8th grade or something
like that. Did it inspire you to learn karate?
I wanted to learn karate. I did.
Like everybody learned karate?
Every single person wanted to do karate.
Now, when I was in high school, I became a freshman in high school, and I was like, okay, movies have told me what high school is going to be like.
Yes.
They lied.
Totally.
High school was not like, there was no Carrie type of stuff. The cool asshole kid at school did not drive a Trans Am.
Let me stop you there.
The hot chick wasn't the cheerleader or the whatever. That's not how.
That wasn't?
That's
how my high
all the
schools
Breakfast Club stuff. that I grew up that I had seen, none of the high school stuff that I had seen in the movies applied to my high school when I was in high school.
So that was your high school because, so did you see Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yes.
Okay, that was my high school.
Really?
Essentially, that was it. It was pretty much spot on. There was not just one Spicoli, there was like 5 Spicoli surfer dudes. It was all those characters were composites.
And what city did you go to high school in?
I went to Laguna Hills. So down in Laguna
that makes
area.
kind of that makes sense.
So
I went to high school in the Valley.
We had a lot of those. We had the preppy guy, we had the punk rocker guy, we had all those composite characters were like.
Did you have that principal that would tell you you're going to get the horns?
So no bad principal in there. We didn't have that. I don't even know who my principal was. I don't think I ever saw a principal. That's the other aspect of high school.
Did you ever have to do Saturday detention with a bunch of 4 other misfits from completely different cliques?
I did not.
No.
I was a good student.
So like you were just boring.
No, I wasn't boring, but I avoided trouble is what happened.
So your 4 years of high school were boring.
No, I just avoided getting in trouble. I was.
So what you're saying then is that you were the mastermind behind every plot, and other people would take the fall for Curtis.
Yes, that happened a lot. That happened a lot. It was good. So how does the Karate Kid? Oh, you were just bringing up that
I was just bringing
a TV
it up
show
because you said MASH, and then it's out at the moment, and I was practicing my Cobra Kai
sometimes
earlier.
Dodger Nation, we do get sidetracked away from which is not a bad thing to get sidetracked away from the Dodgers.
If correct, right now Dodger Nation we're kind of sidetracking because ADHD kicked in. And
and our team sucks.
And our team sucks. But I'll have you know that in the Cobra Kai series, the kid that plays, I guess, like the Machio, but in modern times, who's getting picked on and beat up, wearing a Dodger hat.
Of course.
Yep.
Sure. Well, here's how we can connect it a little bit to pop culture.
Or was it a Dodger shirt? Doesn't matter. He was a Dodger fan.
Okay, whatever. Here's how we can connect it to pop culture is that it was Star Wars. It was May the 4th be with you, last week.
Today's Mexican Mother's Day.
Okay, great.
Happy Mother's Day, guys or ladies.
By the time people see this, it won't be Mexican Mother's Day. So,
but American Mother's Day is on Sunday. They'll see this before Sunday.
Totally. So,
did you know that about a third of our audience is like Mexican mothers?
Are they?
Yep. Some of them are even teenagers.
One of them is your mom.
Yes.
Does she watch the show?
My mom doesn't watch the show.
She doesn't understand what we're talking about.
No, my mom's not big on sports. Right.
And she doesn't like sports.
My sister's a Mexican mom.
Does she watch the show?
No. I don't have a very supportive family.
So nobody in your family watches the show?
No.
Okay. So none of the Star Wars players except Kike, of course Kike, but none of the other players that they interviewed they had these little vignettes, they had these little short little kind of promos. None of them knew who Star Wars characters were.
No. They knew. I saw it. They asked them, who's your favorite? And they said, I don't like Star Wars or I don't watch Star Wars.
Bellinger didn't even know. He'd never seen Star Wars.
Because he's like 19. Remember, he'd never seen Seinfeld either?
What are the chances that you haven't seen Star Wars?
Listen, what
are these players doing?
I need Cody Bellinger to do one thing and one thing only.
Hit baseballs hard?
Hit baseballs into Pasadena.
Well, he's not doing that.
Okay? If you told me, well, Cody doesn't know what Call of Duty is, he doesn't know what League of Legends is, he doesn't know what, I don't know, famous Instagram model is or this or that, because he was too busy spending his youth raking, I'm okay with it.
Okay, that probably is the case. But Star Wars, I mean, come on. I know you don't love Star Wars. You think it's overrated, but I mean...
Overrated.
It is an iconic, series.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that, listen, when I was in high school, and maybe this applied to you too, when I was in high school, if everything that was popular right now was socially acceptable to be popular when I was in high school, I would have had the best harem on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, hands down.
Sure.
Not even close.
So you were ahead of the times.
Not even that ahead of the times, where today it's no longer that, oh, you're actually a Star Wars. No, it's pop culture.
Yeah.
So it's not that...
Well, I was a Star Wars fan.
It's not that smoking hot chick is actually a Star Wars fan. She's just putting on a Stormtrooper helmet and putting on like a really skimpy bathing suit for likes on Instagram.
Okay.
She doesn't care.
Kike knew who Chewbacca...
Because Kike is Kike.
Okay,
he's the guy that rolls into the stadium wearing a banana suit.
That's why I don't think he does that anymore, but that's why he's everybody's favorite player.
Right.
Him and do you think Chase watches Star Wars?
He's got kids, so it would not have surprised me if he sat them down to watch the movie and be like, listen, don't be like that guy. Be like that guy.
But do you think Chase changed any expression while watching any of the Star Wars movies at all? Or
No.
did he just keep this Chase up?
No, but he did almost smile yesterday.
He did?
Almost. When he hit that go-ahead double.
Yeah.
That brought in...
It brought up a little teeny...
Who did it bring in? It bring in Pui and somebody else?
A couple players.
But Chase got to second base, and he almost smiled.
If I was in the dugout, I'd be trying everything to make that dude smile at some point.
I'm sure Kike tried at some point, and he just wasn't having it.
What things would you do in the dugout to try to make Chase laugh or smile? What things? Because Puig can get everybody to, but Puig doesn't even try. I think with Chase. Well,
because he knows there's no point.
What would you do? Is there anything
what
you
would
come
I
up
do
with besides tickling?
Well, I wouldn't touch him, right?
Okay,
So
no touching.
No
There's
touching. No touching.
Chase Utley.
Let's see. I would dress up as him and have my hair the exact same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make everybody else laugh for sure.
Right. And
okay.
I would just mimic him.
Everything he
and
does.
follow him around. And then I would have the rest of the team refer to me as Chase.
Yes. Instead of him.
Correct.
Okay, that would be pretty good. Do you think that'd make him smile or do you think it'd piss him off?
It might piss him off.
Okay.
That might piss him off.
Okay, so that's good. So we are the MASH unit. Back to so Ryu, he's out.
Oh, that's right. We're doing a Dodgers episode.
Yeah, remember Dodgers episode. We're
8 games back.
We're 8 games back.
We're 4 games under 500, 8 games back of Arizona, who we can't seem to beat except for last night.
Why? But we couldn't beat Arizona last year. We went to the World Series.
And then we swept them in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that doesn't matter so much. But when your players and your coach are all saying, "We're so glad we don't have to play Arizona anymore," that's kind of like you don't want to say. Then Arizona's like, "Yeah, we got their number." I don't like when they're like Roberts was like, "Yeah, we're glad we're not playing them till September." It's like, dude. Basically, you're throwing in the towel against Arizona.
When do we play the Padres again?
We play the Reds coming up, which is good because they suck.
Yeah, because they suck too.
They suck. And can we play the Marlins soon? Because we need some bad teams pretty soon. What did you think about the Mexico series?
I liked it. I thought the stadium was super cool.
Food? What about the food?
The food looked amazing. What's his face?
The no-hitter?
No.
We had the no-hitter.
Vince went down
Vince.
to Vince of Scully Avenue podcast.
Yeah.
He went down there. He was putting up pictures the whole time. His family adopted their Uber driver.
Okay.
So an Uber driver picked him up from the airport, and they liked the guy so much, so they basically adopted him for the week.
Okay.
And he was their private chauffeur, and he's in all of their family pictures, eating dinner with them and shit. Yeah. And all the food he posted looked amazing. The combined no-hitter is a no-hitter. I don't care what Joe Davis says. It is a no-hitter.
Wait, did he have a problem with it?
Joe said he doesn't consider it a no-hitter.
Oh, it's a no-hitter.
It's a no-hitter.
It's not as...
It's a no-hitter because there are no hits.
Do you know how hard it is to do a combined no-hitter? There's
Harder,
only been 12.
Especially when your bullpen sucks.
Yeah. There's only been 12.
Right, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, why has there only been 12?
Because there's only been 12.
Is it because 9 out of 10 managers not named Dave Roberts will be like, oh, let me leave this guy in to try and finish it?
Yeah.
Now,
but it's Walker Buehler.
I agree. They should have pulled Buehler out. Why? Because he was at 96 pitches.
Yeah, he was at the limit.
Yeah. If he was 96 pitches going into the 9th, I'd say go ahead and do it.
Try it.
96 pitches after 6, get out, son.
Yeah.
Great job. Bienvenidos al dugout. Here are some nachos.
Yes.
Relax.
He didn't look like he was relaxing. I think they really wanted that no-hitter. I mean, we haven't had very many bright spots. That was one of them so far this year. It was great. And again, when you've only had 12 of them in the history of baseball, I think it's a pretty big accomplishment. So I think Joe admitted to that.
Right. No, that he was like, yeah, I get it. It's more rare than a regular no-hitter.
I think it just feels different when it's not one person.
And and keep in mind, he's the one calling it.
He called it great.
Yeah. So
as usual.
So for him, I guess it's a little bit different because he's the one calling it. So it may not seem, I don't want to say as special, but it may not seem as mystifying as watching one particular dude go out there for 9 innings. I mean, he did technically call a 9-inning no-hitter last year for Rich Hill. Technically, he did.
So let's talk about this. Just continuing in Mexico for a second. What if there is a team in Mexico? What happens?
If there's a team in Mexico, like in Monterrey?
Yeah. Like what if?
Where does Monterrey sit? Monterey, is it below Arizona? I don't know where Monterey, Mexico is on a map.
I think it is.
Okay, but
it's inland.
Okay, so I would assume that they would give it to the National League West.
Yes.
And then Monterey, Mexico, and the Diamondbacks would actually have a rivalry.
Because we don't have a rivalry with the Diamondbacks yet?
I don't think so.
I mean, we don't hate them. You know what I hate about the Diamondbacks?
Their fans?
Besides them?
Their team president that makes you swap out your team's colors if you sit behind the dugout?
Besides him? Their uniforms.
Oh, their uniforms.
They're terrible.
They're 12 uniforms?
It's like, what is that? What is that uniform?
It's a fashion show.
It looks like they're on the set of Tron.
Tron was a good movie. That was an 80s movie.
That's what the uniforms look like, a Tron uniform.
What was it like growing up in the 80s?
It's Tron.
Did you have oversized suits? Did you drive a DeLorean?
I did not.
How much coke did you do?
I didn't do it. It was the 80s. Well, maybe.
Everybody did coke in the 80s.
Yeah, but I was a little young. I mean, I can't. This is on tape. I don't want to get into that.
We use this tape.
But
God, you're just aging yourself here.
Yeah. Everything was, it's exactly how you picture it. No, it's nothing like that.
Were you a yuppie?
No, we talked about this last time. I was a kind of punk rocker.
Oh, that's true. And your mom wouldn't really let you be punk rock, so you were only semi-punk rock? No studs, no tattoos, no piercings?
No, I was Clash fan. You didn't need to have the studs and tattoos and piercings for that.
Nice.
Anyway, so we're we're back home now for a few games. Finally finished with Arizona. We got Puig back from the DL.
And Hyun-Jin Ryu went to the DL.
And he went to the DL.
Kershaw went to the DL.
Kershaw went to the DL, which immediately when Kershaw went to the DL, everybody was like, season over.
I didn't think it was season over. Because remember, we talked about this. At some point, he was going to go on the DL at least once to save some of his arm.
Yes.
So I wasn't season over. For me, the indicator of, shit, the season might be over is when Ginger Jesus says, listen, I'm not a team savior. I'm like, hello, Ginger Jesus, you are team savior.
When does he come back?
Like, the team is failing for the sins, and you will come and resurrect us.
When does Justin Turner come back?
In the Mexico series, they said that he was picking up the bat and that he would be ready in approximately 4 weeks from then.
Yes.
So 4 weeks from last week. So 3 weeks now.
So he'll be back next week.
No.
I'm not doing the math here.
I'm not doing the math correctly
he'll
either.
be back next
but
week.
Approximately 5 weeks from when we landed in Mexico.
No.
That's what they said.
No.
That's what they said.
He's already swinging baseball. He's swinging at baseballs now.
Right, but what if he gets hurt again?
He was in the cage. He's not going to get hurt again.
Listen, that's just what I read.
You know who's going to get hurt again? Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp is leading the league in batting average. And the Dodgers in home runs with 5.
Oh, God. So I think A.J. Pollock has more home runs than the whole Dodgers team against the Dodgers.
Just against the Dodgers?
No, I don't know. I think the Diamondbacks just against the Dodgers have more home runs than the Dodgers have total. Matt Kemp is hitting great, and we knew that. We knew Matt, when he's healthy, he's a good hitter. His problem, of course, is fielding and running the bases, and that's where he gets hurt.
That's where he gets hurt.
And so when he's on base and he's hitting well, it ups the chances of him getting hurt.
I think we have to do some kind of like Bad News Bears thing, like I told you, with Kelly in the outfield, where if something kind of gets out of Matt Kemp's zone, Jock needs to come in, or Taylor, or whoever's playing center field needs to come in and be like, whoa, it's cool, I got this. Don't run into me, don't run into a wall, don't hurt your hamstring. You got Matt like hitting it into a gap somewhere in like, what is it, Triples Alley or whatever? Yeah. Stop at second, bro.
Exactly.
Stop at second. I would rather have you stop at second and not hurt yourself, because right now you're hitting like 345 and you're just, when healthy, amazing. When healthy.
It seems like all the players but Kemp and maybe a little bit of Grandal are swinging for the fences on every at-bat.
That's why Chris Taylor has like 50 strikeouts already. He's the leadoff guy.
Do you know that Tony Gwynn, and rest in peace, it
was his birthday the other day.
It was his birthday yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday. Tony Gwynn, in his career, which I think was 20 years or something like that, he struck out 40 times in a season twice.
That's it?
Every other season, less than 40 times. He struck out 20 times in a season, a couple times. We're 20 a couple times. Chris Taylor already has struck out 40 times, and we're only a month and a half in the season.
Now, is that a product of how amazing Tony Gwynn was, or is that a product of the pitching?
Well, there was great pitching back then. Are you kidding?
Because I remember
Tony Gwynn. Okay, listen to this. Tony Gwynn, I don't know the exact stats here. He's the only major league hitter that has over 315 average over. So they took all the Hall of Fame pitchers that are in the Hall of Fame that he batted against. He batted 315.
Oh, yeah. Greg Maddux was like, I don't like going up against them. Because Greg Maddux never threw heat. Greg Maddux was, the professor.
Yeah.
He would put it in places and hope that you miss. Well, Tony Gwynn didn't miss.
He had like 500, he had a season's worth of at-bats against Hall of Fame pitchers, like 590 at-bats against Hall of Fame pitchers only. They did all the math on this. The nerds did a bunch of math. And he batted over 300, 315, something like that, against Hall of Fame pitchers with like normal stats, like with 17 homers and like 90 RBIs. Like he's batted like normal people bat against crappy pitchers. He batted against Hall of Fame pitchers.
All right, here, let me give you this and blow your mind. I just looked at some Tony Gwynn stats. So he struck out 40 times in 1988.
Yes.
That was the most times he's ever struck out in a season. In a full season, the least amount was 4 times in a season, but that was only 140 at-bats, which is still amazing because you're striking out less than 1% of the time.
Yeah.
In a full season, the lowest amount that he struck out was 14 times while still hitting 338.
Oh, my God. 14 times.
Yeah.
That's insane.
In 1995, he led the league in hits. He led the league in batting average, was an all-star, but was voted 9th in MVP. What?
He's on the Padres.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
With these stats, how is he 9th?
I don't know.
Now I need to know who Barry Larkin won it that year.
Oh, Barry Larkin, yeah. Well, he, Hall of Famer too. But the thing about it is we, without Justin Turner in the lineup, we do not have contact hitters at all. And yes, Justin Turner has a long swing, and he'll swing for the fences as well and elevate the baseball. But we are not having anybody except Chase Utley's double in the gap the other night to kind of put us ahead. We have nobody that is just trying to hit singles and doubles. We have everybody. Chris Taylor's trying to hit a home run as a leadoff hitter every time he's up to bat, which I love hard swinging.
I gotta cut you off here. I'm upset now.
Why?
Because I'm looking at Barry Larkin's numbers versus Tony Gwynn's numbers that year.
So
and Tony Gwynn's got him beaten like 9 out of 10.
He got shafted.
Yeah, he hasn't beaten like 9 out of 10 categories.
What year was that?
This is 1995, and
did this Reds
Tony
go to the World
Gwynn
Series that year?
Well, Barry Larkin was at Cincinnati that year. I don't know if they went to the World Series that year, but
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me? His numbers destroy Barry Larkin's numbers.
Tony Gwynn.
And he's ninth. That's what's
been
wrong with the voting process. The voting process should not be led up to... That's why Matt Kemp got screwed out of his 2011 MVP.
Better stats.
Where it's kind of like, you have better stats than somebody else, but, oh, sorry, the rest of your team didn't perform as well.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what the Reds did in '95. Barry Larkin was a darn good player. There's no doubt about it, and defensively he's great. But Tony Gwynn is... I mean, every season that guy could have... He just went about his business, just quiet, went about his business, did his thing.
Do you think that's probably why I didn't give it to him? Because he wasn't like a vocal McGregor type of guy?
I don't know.
Imagine if Tony Gwynn, having the skill that he had, was a vocal McGregor guy.
I can't imagine that, because most people that have a lot of skill do not, aren't. Look at Mike Trout. I mean, he doesn't talk a lot. He's not in front of the camera.
And how many times did he get shafted coming in second place to Miguel Cabrera, like 4 years in a row?
Okay, well, and it's clear that Trout's the best player in baseball.
Right.
So, okay.
Whatever happened to Miguel Cabrera? I haven't heard anything about him in a while.
He got hurt. He's on DL too right now. Yeah.
So that's what happens when you pay a 30. How old is he? Like 32, 33?
Something like
when Detroit signed him for like 10 years and $500 million, and was like, oh yeah, by the way, you could also have all the boarded up properties in Detroit.
There's some fans that, getting back to the Dodgers, there's some fans that are calling for us to just clean house of all the players that are old, including Clayton Kershaw. Trade Kershaw now.
Is he old? He's
on the look. Let's face it. He's been at the apex of his career for a while, and he's going towards the downhill slope. Would you trade Kershaw this season? If the Dodgers are out of it, would you trade him with this opt out?
Well.
This is the Sandy Koufax of this team.
Correct.
Would you
now,
trade him?
I would talk to him for a second and be like, hey, do you want to help us out Cliff Lee style? If we're out of this race.
One of the greatest things Cliff Lee ever did.
If we're out of this race and you want to go to a contender, because this contender can legitimately, win a World Series, so you can win one, we will trade you to that contender.
And then you will come
and then you will opt out, and then you will come back to us.
Do you think
if Kershaw says yes to that, I would say in a heartbeat.
Can you do things like that? You would get against the rules to do stuff like that?
Cliff Lee did it.
He did.
Chapman did it for the Yankees.
That's right.
I mean,
why can't we do that?
You could get a king's ransom.
Maybe.
No, you could. Not maybe. Because Kershaw has the opt-out plus 2 years, assuming he doesn't opt out. So he can be like, listen, I don't want to talk about any contract stuff until the end of the year. And then you know what? When the year's over, he does opt out.
So you think a team like the Red Sox would throw him in there as a number 4 starter? He'd be behind Chris Sale and, just kind of slot in. You're going to be our number 3 or 4 guy. You think they would do it? You think they'd put up they'd trade?
Do the Red Sox still have that kind of minor league system?
No. I'm sure they don't.
You got to trade him to a really deep system that's going to pay a king's ransom for him.
Okay.
In the event that you do. But I would only be okay with trading him if that were the case, where we're kind of like, hey.
You're not dumping him. You're not dumping him then just because it's a permanent dump.
No. Yeah, that's stupid.
We're keeping him forever.
No, that's stupid because even if you were to tell me, oh, yeah, he's on the down end of his career. What is he, 30?
I don't know, 31, 30.
30, 31. You give him more money than anybody else.
Really?
You still have the best pitcher in baseball performing at an elite level for at least 3 seasons.
Is he the best pitcher?
Yes.
Because I don't know. Scherzer's looking pretty darn good right now.
He always does this. Look at Matt Scherzer's stats. He always looks amazing.
Yes.
During the beginning of the season and the middle of the season. His 9-inning games reflect that of his regular season.
Okay.
Where it would not surprise me if I turn on the TV and I see Matt Scherzer and I sarcastically say, but he's got a no-hitter going, right? And he does.
Yeah.
Because he always has no-hitters going into like the 7th, and then he gets wrecked in the 8th. Not wrecked, but then he gets touched up and his team loses like 3-2, 3-1. Okay. Now, Matt Scherzer is an amazing pitcher. I really wanted to pick him up before he went to the Nationals.
We talked about that.
But am I going to say, yeah, I'll take a power-throwing righty over a power-throwing lefty who also has the best breaking ball in all of baseball? No. because left-handed pitchers can have more value. They can throw for longer. He's also younger, and he doesn't rely on heat.
Who has more value right now to the Dodgers, Walker Buehler or Clayton Kershaw?
Right now?
Still Kershaw?
Still Kershaw, because Walker Buehler
I'm seeing some Buehler jerseys.
young and being molded.
Yes.
And at the same time, I don't know what may happen. Was it Walker Buehler, the guy we picked up from Vanderbilt who had Tommy John?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I knew we picked up somebody from Vanderbilt, and I knew he went to Vandy, because back-to-back years we picked up first-round picks from Vandy.
Exactly.
And I didn't know if he was the one that had Tommy John. So depending on what happens to Kershaw, because his bicep hurts now all of a sudden, and the bicep is connected to the shoulder, like every reporter told us.
Yeah.
If you have forearm and bicep issues in your throwing arm, that's an indication of, shit, you might have Tommy John.
Great.
So
That being said,
in the event that he does, we don't let people know that he does, and then we trade him for a king's ransom, and then we have him sign back with us.
don't you think that there is a physical that happens?
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay. So then they go, no, the deal off.
No, because if he goes to the physical and there's no tear or separation or anything, the doctors say, no, he just needs rest.
Yes. Do you know who's still on our team?
On our payroll or on our team?
On our team. Pedro Baez.
Yeah.
He's still on the team.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay.
Why? I don't know.
I just want to double check.
Because at this point, like, normally I defend Pedro Baez during the regular season, where I'm like, hey, during the regular season, in non-pressure situations, he's a lights-out guy. Mm-hmm. Even now, in pressure, non-pressure, whatever situations.
He did have a good game down in Mexico, though.
True. He came in, like the third inning that day?
I think the fifth inning. He pitched longer relief, which was not a pressure situation.
So, I mean, he's very Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. He's still on our team. Just letting you know. Because we sent down Verdugo.
Right. Because he wasn't hitting. Well, what happened was Jock knew that if he wasn't producing while Verdugo was up, Jock would go down. So Jock's like, oh, shit, I got to start swinging the bat.
And he has. His on-base percentage is pretty high. He's been walking a lot, which is good.
Yes.
His discipline at the plate is much, much better. So what's our rotation? And Rich Hill did not look good the other day. So, I mean, our rotation is, he came back.
He was coming off the DL too.
Did you know that this time it wasn't the blisters for Rich Hill? This time on the regular part of his finger, this time it was underneath his nail. How do you get a blister? He got a blister underneath the nail?
Underneath
the nail on the top of his finger.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong with him. His hands...
His skin is baby soft.
Right. I think it's like, okay, dude, like, stop moisturizing. What he should be doing is dipping his hands into wax so he forms calluses.
Wax.
Yeah.
He should start playing guitar.
In the offseason.
Okay.
Not during the season, because then he's going to... No, that would cut off his fingers.
It would?
Yeah. How sensitive his hands are, that would cut off his fingers.
Do we want his hands to be more sensitive?
No, I need his hands to be more rugged and, like, callousy and manly.
So start playing guitar.
Right, but not during season.
Okay, not during season.
So that way he can build it. I legitimately, he should be dipping his hands in wax.
Why does wax help?
Because the wax will start to burn the epidermis.
Oh.
And it'll create calluses without you having to start punching palm trees and stuff like monks.
Okay, where do you get this stuff? Monks punch palm trees?
Yeah.
For what reason?
So they can build calluses. Same thing with Muay Thai fighters.
What do monks need calluses for?
Because they're warriors.
Monks?
Yeah, and then Muay Thai fighters kick palm trees and they elbow them.
Is this in cartoons?
No, this is in real life. So they can start building calluses in their bones so they can hit harder.
I've never heard of these things. I mean, I really...
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
I get that part, but that's a movie.
Cobra Kai.
Okay. Cobra Kai. All right. What's our gift of the day, Albert?
Guys, our gift of the day, this is a pitcher who... this is why pitchers shouldn't bat, unless your name is Ohtani.
He was really trying hard.
This is what's wrong with the Dodgers. This guy is trying way too hard. He's trying to send the ball over the fence, and that's why the Dodgers are falling out of the batter's box, striking out left and right, and we're having regression years for people like Taylor, who hit what did he hit, like 25 home runs last year, who are just constantly trying to hit the ball out of the yard.
Yeah. This is pretty funny, though. I like it. I would be swinging
like that, too. That's some Bartolo Colon status right there.
Yeah, yeah. Except this is a skinny dude.
Yes.
This guy's skinny.
So he doesn't have an excuse. He doesn't have the momentum of his gut throwing him off balance.
No, he did not have that. He just had the momentum of a really bad swing.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, Dodger Nation, but that's been our show. Thanks for tuning in again. You can follow us on the Instagram for all the behind-the-scenes actions. Don't forget to stalk us on Twitter. You can check out the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, really anywhere podcasts are heard. But that's been our show, and you guys have a good night.